What's up, everybody? It's Erin.
And Nicole. This is Dude That's Fucked Up on the whohaha podcast network.
Hello and welcome. Hope you're all doing good.
I feel like, why not? You know, we're fully in spooky season. It's Erin's birthday month.
Yeah, bitch. I just did a dumbass dance with a dumb face.
It wasn't dumb.
I mean, I think it was.
In my head, I could hear heads will roll, heads will roll.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I just crushed on Netflix Midnight Mass.
Oh, I don't know that.
It's a good spooky, creepy, like limited series.
Ooh. Did you watch Squid Games yet?
No, I need to watch that. I know everybody's been talking about it.
I was up till like 1:30 a.m. 2 nights this week already watching it.
I'm into it. I really I want to watch it. But I just finished Midnight Mass, so
okay.
I was literally sitting there like I'm gonna choose one or the other, and I kind of I was like maybe DJ will want to watch Squid Games with me. So
yeah, it's fun.
I knew he probably wouldn't. He would watch Midnight Mass with me, I think, but I think it was more for me,
you choice. It was
me choice. Yeah.
If we were in a home video store, it would be staff pick Erin.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. I like it. I enjoyed it. It was very entertaining.
Cool.
Kind of fucked me up a little bit. Some parts I was like, oh shit.
Oh God, I'm gonna start this tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, it starts a little slow, but then it goes off the rails.
Oh, I love a good off the rails.
I didn't realize what was going to happen, and for like a while too. I was like, "Oh shit, okay." So
did they make it to Midnight Mass, or did they miss it?
Gotta watch and see. I don't want to spoil anything.
Did they fall asleep during Midnight Mass, or did they stay awake for the whole thing?
It's real sleepy, and if you've ever been sat through any kind of Catholic anything, not even Mass,
during a regular time of day is hard enough. You put it at midnight.
Shit.
On fucking Christmas Eve. No,
it was Easter.
Oh, in this one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess people must go on Easter to Midnight Mass. Oh, are they thinking they'll catch a glimpse as he is risen?
Well, I can't give anything away. I can't give anything away.
Does Jesus rise in this?
I can't give anything away.
Oh my God. Now I feel like I'm on a hot path.
You gotta check it out.
I gotta watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, very sweet. Oh, and then I watched the Witches of Eastwick.
Oh yeah, a classic.
The hottest 3 women have ever been. Any women anywhere. Michelle Pfeiffer, Susan Sarandon, and Cher. Like,
oh my God.
Fuck, dude.
Oh my God.
Like peak gorgeous. The clothes, everything, and then Jack Nicholson is like,
oh my God.
Creepy devil.
That whole, I'm going to call it a Shera. It's an era of Cher. That whole Shera. Mermaids. She looks gorgeous. I guess The Mask was later. Mm-hmm. But,
is
gorgeous.
She Silkwood? Or is that just Meryl Streep? I can't remember.
I don't know. I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, it's fucked up.
But Cher, I saw her recently. She looked too good, and I am just curious. I'd like to see her up close because I feel like there's like folds of skin near her ear or something that would like prove that she's not a perfectly aging human alien being. Mm-hmm. But I will never be that close to her ears. So
yeah, well,
all right. Well, any biz?
We're back on Patreon this month.
We're back.
We took September off, but we're back, and we will have content up for you.
Yeah, we already recorded something last night, our commentary on the Lula Rich doc.
Mm-hmm. If you want to hear our hot takes on that, there's a Patreon for you.
We could have recorded for like another 4 hours, just FYI. So
Jesus Christ, that fucking documentary.
We stopped recording and I like had so many more thoughts and I was like, oh God, like just go to bed.
I know. That shit made me so mad. I mean, you guys know our thoughts and our opinions on multi-level marketing companies.
Yeah.
I put that in air quotes because how dare.
How dare.
Yeah, so that's Patreon. Check that
Yeah.
out. Patreon.com/DTFU podcast.
Love it.
I don't know. Send us some, like, if you want to hear us talk shit on a certain topic, let us know if there's something you want to hear about.
We add it to the Slack, and we keep it in mind as we're planning upcoming episodes, and we try and fit it in. So
this was a listener suggestion that
I didn't even know that.
I'm pretty sure somebody joining the Facebook group suggested it, I think. So.
Cool. Oh, that's fun. Okay. Yeah, that explains why we'll get to it. But
yeah.
It explains our original feelings about it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's
I thought this was you.
I think I could have been.
I think it was a listener suggestion.
Anything fucked up for you this week?
No, I mean, I don't think I have anything this week. Just that I stayed up very late watching Squid Games 2 nights in a row, and that was I did it technically for work. Flex real quick. I write scripts for a YouTube channel. It's called Arcade Blocks. It is for children, like 8 to 12-ish.
It's really funny, though.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I've watched it. It's good.
It's funny, yeah. I've written like 20 episodes or something at this point. More than that, like 25 episodes. And they're like 8-ish minutes long, and it's all about the game Roblox, if anyone's familiar, which is kind of like a Minecraft Sims type situation. There's so many games you could play. And they wanted a Squid Games because that's what's popular right now.
Yeah.
And also there's Roblox games that are based on Squid Games, like where you play like you're the character and you play the games they play, which is very fun. So they were like, we know you just turned in a script, but if we're willing to pay you not double, I wish. We're willing to pay you extra to write another one. So I had to write one in like 2 days. So I watched so I played the game, and then I watched all the episodes, and then I wrote a script, and it was very fun. So it was but check that out. It's the YouTube channel's called Arcade Blocks, and it's very fun. And I've written all but like the first 2 episodes, I think.
Amazing.
You'll see my name. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God, the kids love it. They leave the cutest comments. It's so fun.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
That's so fun.
It makes me have self-confidence. Okay, what is your fucked up of the week?
I just want to talk about the Zodiac Killer for a hot second.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think some like a group of, online detectives cracked the case. The FBI still has the case open, but I think it's safe to assume that these people figured it out. And so, they figured out who the Zodiac Killer was. And
was it one of the suspects that the FBI have had on the list?
I think he might have been. I don't know. I didn't read too much about it, which I want to, but I just plumb ran out of time.
Yeah.
But the thing that is the funniest about this like breaking news to me is that I think he was a suspect, but there was like a couple people who were like way more at the top of the list. Mm-hmm. But the funniest thing to me, not funny, but the discourse around this are people joking that they're like disappointed that it was just the guy's name is just Gary. This guy that they think was the Zodiac Killer was Gary Francis Post, but he died in 2018. And so people have been going around the internet trying to unearth like social media accounts for Gary Francis Post or like anything like referring to him or people might have known him. And so people are like making the dumbest memes of it. It's just so silly.
What is the probability that they did find the guy?
I think it's pretty high because this is, I think what the main thing is that his name fits into the anagram of, like the famous, like crazy anagram that he sent to the police. And, I think that's like it was like the kind of key to it all, I guess, is his name. So
interesting.
it's very interesting. I need to read more about it.
Yeah.
But the thing I wanted to talk about was how funny that people are like, Gary? It was Gary the whole time.
It's like, oh, Ted.
Well, it's just like, BTK. He's just like a fucking asshole dog catcher.
Yeah.
Who's like a dick to everybody. And it was like, oh, yeah, that guy for sure.
Now I want to look into this. Pete mentioned something to me about it earlier this morning, and I was skeptical. I want to look into this because, wow, 2018, and yet no one had heard from him in decades, which is unlike a serial killer, right?
Yeah, well, I think he was probably just like, it seemed like he was upset that nobody figured it out, but he wasn't like, I think he kind of got over it and like kind of got a life after that. And
interesting.
Like, no,
he just moved on.
I have no idea.
He's like, I scratched that itch. I tried it. I didn't like it.
Too much work.
It was too much work. Not enough notoriety, honestly.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So I thought it was funny.
Oh my gosh.
So we'll see if that's really real.
We have also a combined fucked up, which is also our segue this week.
Yeah, this is funny.
Which is that, okay, today's topic, which I guess was submitted by a listener, and I thought Erin had submitted it, which is why I almost didn't write this in our notes, but then I was like, I'm going to be honest. Like, I didn't know today's topic was real because we're talking about Krakatoa today.
Yeah, it's a volcano.
It's a volcano. Specifically, the eruption in 1883 is like the main event. And honestly, it didn't really fully exist after that anyway. So,
yeah.
But more on that later. But my only reference to Krakatoa is from a tiki bar at the Disneyland Resort Hotel called Trader Sam's. And when I guess there's like a drink, maybe it's the Krakatoa, and when people order it, they're like, Krakatoa, and they like ring this huge bell, and then it gets dark in there, and then the volcano on the back wall erupts. It's it's like you're in a ride, and then it like rains and stuff. There's like rain sounds, and like there's like lava.
Rainforest Cafe, like
yeah. It's like Rainforest Cafe happens.
Oh my God.
For like 2 minutes, and they do it every time someone orders one, and it's so fun. And I never knew the significance of that until right now.
Well, it's
today.
A real volcano. It exists.
Yeah.
I know Krakatoa to me, it kind of had the same I mean, I knew it was a real thing sort of, but and I remember learning about it at some point as a little kid. Like, I don't know, maybe my uncle told me about it, or my mom or dad, or like my mom, people in my family like would have sayings like, oh, something pop like Krakatoa or something, and I'd be like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
And I learned about it at some point, and what I learned was like factoids basically, and it just seemed, the way it was like described, or the way I like learned about it, seemed so like it was on par with like quicksand or cannibalism.
Yeah.
Like technically real, but so intense and terrifying that my brain almost couldn't like conceive of it actually being real. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Like kind of like Mount Vesuvius or whatever.
Yeah, Mount Vesuvius, Pompeii. Yeah, like
we know that happened, but it's like hard to think. It's like weird to imagine it.
Well, but it's like you don't have to imagine it because there's like full evidence.
So many artifacts.
There's like and
there's evidence of this one too, but
there is, but not in the same way of Pompeii. Which, anyway, so this is like a lot like that, but it's very scary because the things that happened when this volcano erupted were terrifying and horrible and hard to wrap your head around. So we'll talk about all these things that happened and why it's so scary, other than it being a deadly goddamn volcano that sort of still exists and is still active. So let's settle in and we'll tell you all about it. So prior to the eruption that Nicole had mentioned in 1883, Krakatoa was a small uninhabited island about 5 miles long and 3 miles wide. It had 2 elevations. Of the taller peak was called Peak of Krakatoa, and it was about 2,750 feet above sea level. And it was located in the Sunda Strait between the islands of Java and Sumatra in the Indonesian province of Lampung. So it's in this kind of narrow strait between these 2 major islands. And it's just chilling there, and suddenly started having some activity. First started out with like earthquakes that people would feel like are in the surrounding land masses, and then really active eruptions started on May 20th of 1883, and then peaked late morning Monday, August 27th of 1883. So it was just like God. Popping off for like several months, and then it had its like big show in August of 1883.
Oh my God. That's especially scary because it's like at first you're like, what's going on? But then you kind of get used to it. Like, oh, this is just life now. And then
you don't know if it's going to stop or if it's going to keep going or what. Yeah. Is this just life now, or is something even worse going to happen? Like, I think there's a volcano erupting right now on the island in the Canary Islands, Las Palmas. It's pretty fucked up. Oh, God. I was watching some video footage of that the other day because like Jose Andres is there to like give meals.
To give people food? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
An angel.
I will never not eat at his restaurants. If I'm anywhere, I'm there.
Dude, living in DC, people who work for him that I like know personally, people who work for him, nothing but amazing things to say about him. Like, love him dearly. Like, he is a good person. Like, going to his restaurants in DC was just like the best. So
when we came to visit you, I think it was last time we visited you there before you moved, and when Jack was born, and Pete and I made a point where like we're gonna go to one of his restaurants while we're here.
Absolutely,
and it was so great.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah.
Anyway, bless you, Jose Andres. So anyway, back to Krakatoa though. During the peak eruption of Krakatoa, 70% of the island and its surrounding archipelago were destroyed. Yeah. It basically collapsed into the ocean, into the caldera of the volcano.
Fuck, dude.
It's so like, imagine just a huge fucking island.
Yeah. Suddenly
gone.
But it makes sense because it was like full of lava and sediment. And that shit all got blasted out, and now it's just like loose skin, and it just has to like crumple in on itself.
Exactly.
That should happen every time, I feel like.
Well, sometimes it does, and this is a very, very, very intense example of it.
It's pretty wild.
So this eruption was one of the deadliest and most destructive volcanic events in recorded history. Yeah. And the explosions from the eruptions were so violent that they were heard over like almost 2,000 miles away in Perth, which is in Western Australia, and in Rodriguez, which is a place, I don't know, I've never even heard of this, but it was 3,000 miles away. So like, imagine
Mauritius?
Mauritius. Yeah. So that was 3,000 miles away, which, imagine something that loud happening in California and then people being able to hear it in like Maine.
New York. Yeah.
New York, yeah.
Dude.
What the fuck?
That's pretty fucking wild.
Also, that's insane. So this is like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when I heard these factoids, like,
yeah.
I was like a kid and I was like, that seems impossible.
It's too much. Yeah. I feel like I read somewhere, but I didn't write this in the notes. I don't know if you read this and wrote it in the notes, but the sound circulated the earth like 7 times.
The sound wave, not necessarily the actual sound.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a sound
Holy
wave. Like,
fuck, dude.
Yeah, there was like, they were able to like measure this with like even the like kind of rudimentary like instruments that they had back then.
Yeah.
They were able to like measure that. So
dude, this is all to say it was a fucking big explosion.
Yeah. And at least 36,417 deaths are attributed to the eruption and the tsunamis it created.
Yeah, mostly the tsunamis.
Yeah. That's so many people, but keep in mind that this island itself was uninhabited. Yeah. So the deaths occurred very far away from the volcano itself. Like we said, lots of
like hundreds of
miles away. Yeah.
Yeah. Up to. Yeah.
Up to, yeah. So people who like saw this happening from, it'd be like if we were like here in Long Beach saw like suddenly Catalina was like a volcano erupting, and we're like, that's fucked up, and then didn't think anything of it, and then
look, but this is the thing, because there can be fucking wildfires in Northern California and the sky is weird here and we can smell fires from miles and miles away. That shit gets into the air. And also, I mean, the force of a volcano, it's going so high up into the air that it has to spill out, like it's going to have a larger area.
And that's just one aspect of what a volcano can do.
Yeah. The tsunami is the bad part.
Tsunami is the bad part. And then there's also, we'll get into all this detail of like the phenomena that can happen when a volcano this violent erupts. But just keep in mind, like people thought that they were out of the danger zone, very far away from this shit, and they were not. The sound was claimed from the explosion from the eruption was claimed to be heard in 50 different locations around the world, and like you said, the sound wave was recorded to have traveled around the globe 7 times.
Yeah.
And that just blows my mind. Like, how the fuck is that possible? That seems just too much.
It makes me feel very small.
Yeah. Well, it makes you realize that Mother Nature, there's so many things in our lifetime that we haven't even seen happen.
Yeah.
And the power that we have only seen a little glimpse of is just it's like on a timeline of endless possibilities that can happen. I don't know,
it's weird to live. I mean, I think in our lifetime we'll see the effects of global warming to like a catastrophic.
We already have.
We are, but I think on the level of like a Krakatoa, I think it's weird to look back in history and be told about these things and people experience them and live in such like a technologically advanced time where like that's not happening all the time. Like the world feels so small or something. And but it's not. And also like it feels like we control things, but we don't.
Yes.
And that's all fucking its own thing.
Yeah, totally. That's why I think there are so many climate change deniers is because we have this illusion of being in control. It's just like Jurassic Park.
Oh my God. And that did not end well.
It's all an illusion.
Yeah.
So let's just like get into like the nitty gritty of this volcano. Krakatoa is a stratovolcano, which is the deadliest and scariest of all volcanoes that are the most common also. Think Mount Vesuvius, Mount St. Helens, Mount Pinatubo, and those are like the classic, conical, look like a mountain.
Pointy, stereotypical volcano.
They have the steep profile with a summit crater, and there's periodic intervals of like eruptions and it could be like steam venting, little like rocks falling. You can see lava every now and then, but it's just basically what we think of a volcano looking like when we envision a volcano. And although a stratovolcano can also just have a collapsed summit crater, which is just, where the whole mountain is kind of gone, but still a stratovolcano, and that's called a caldera. So that's what Krakatoa is now, a caldera. So Krakatoa erupted at least once before in recorded history pretty hardcore around the 1600s. There's evidence from records of merchant vessels that were traveling in the area around 1680 that the volcano went off, and that shit was like hell on earth for a while.
And they were able to corroborate it with like other, like not even just like in the vicinity, like it had further reaching.
Yeah,
like they could corroborate it with things people were recording in further away, even, you know, like tsunami type stuff or whatever.
Yes, and earthquakes and like
earthquakes, yeah.
And like the plume of you know, smoke and pumice stones that were like in the water. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this was like a thing that happened, and it was corroborated. But it after that was chill and calm after the 1680 eruption. And then about 200 years later, she came back to life in May of 1883.
She was like Stella. She got her groove back.
She did. She was like, you know what? I've been sleeping for too long. Let's go. Let's go, girls.
It's part. Let's go, girls. Bow, 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 bow.
And she went off, bitch. So starting on May 19th, 1883, steam started venting like pretty regularly from Purbawatan. That's the northernmost of the island's 3 cones. I said there earlier there was 2, but I think
there's 3.
There's 3. Yeah.
They were cones.
Cones. And yeah, so it was like boop, boop, boop. Like 3 little cool, perfect little mountains.
Love it.
And then eruptions of ash started popping off into the sky, and they were reaching an estimated altitude of 20,000 feet into the sky. That's fucking...
Oh, my God.
That's like as high as airplanes fly, you know?
Yeah.
And then explosions could be heard in New Batavia, which is Jakarta. This, at the time, was part of the Dutch East Indies. That was the colonizers that were in the area.
Okay, I was because there were like Dutch scientists and stuff that got involved during this time, and I was like, that's interesting. They just love volcanoes or something, but that makes more sense.
This is like the strait that Krakatoa was a major like thoroughfare for a lot of like, it was a trading route basically for the Dutch East Indies. So that's why the Dutch were all up in that, and like a random Dutch word pops up.
But also they fucking love a volcano.
They fucking love a volcano.
I barely know anything about Dutch people. 1, they wear clogs. 2, weed's legal there and has been for a long time. 3, love volcanoes, makes them horny. All Dutch people, when they're doing it, actually when they come, this is a thing. They go, Krakatoa.
Instead of saying, I'm coming, they say, I'm volcanoing.
I'm erupting.
I'm erupting. Sorry. Please welcome me back, Amsterdam.
Yeah. No, we'll go there. Who cares?
I feel like we've talked to a lot of shit on Dutch people.
Listen, I have the fondest. I lost my virginity to Dutch people. So.
Multiple.
Well, 1, because it only happens once. But then he had a friend I liked more. So anyway. No, but you know, we love Holland.
We do.
The Netherlands,
yeah.
Yeah.
But they could hear explosions like 100 miles away when this first started. Crazy. Eruptions at Krakatoa started again around June 16th with loud explosions, and a thick black cloud stayed like kind of lower and covered the islands for 5 days, so nobody could see really what was happening.
Yeah.
But then on June 24th, a east blowing wind cleared the cloud, and 2 columns of ash could be seen coming from Krakatoa. So
dang,
she was letting off some steam. But shit was happening. It was popping off.
She was pre-gaming.
Oh yeah, and the violence of the ongoing eruptions caused tides in the area to be unusually high, and ships that were anchored like nearby islands had to be moored with chains, which is like you usually don't need to do that shit. Earthquakes were felt at Anyer, Banton, and the ships around there started to report large pumice masses to the west in the Indian Ocean. So, like,
I can also see the Dutch names in those on your Banten. Yeah.
On your Banten. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then in early August, a Dutch topographical engineer, Captain H.J.G. Ferzenaar. I'm glad that all 3 of his first names were just an initial, because I'm sure they're like insane and I wouldn't know the first thing about them. But this brave man went to the island to check out what the fuck was going on. This seems crazy. Early August, it erupted later in August. So he...
Oh my God.
Got real lucky there. But this guy goes to the island and he's like, gets ashore and is just like, oh, fuck. Everything on this island is dead. It used to be a green, lush, verdant island. Yeah. And even though it was, uninhabited, it was still like, it was gorgeous to look at. It was a beautiful green emerald of an island. And then so he gets there and everything's dead, like just tree stumps, and the entire island basically is covered with like 2 feet of ash.
Oh my God. Why would you just like go the gall of this man to like be like, I'm gonna go over and see what's going on over here.
He's like, I wonder what's happening. Do you think a volcano's erupted or what? I think he wanted to see like how bad it was, and he wanted to see if there was evidence that it was like, if it was going to stop or if it was going to keep going. I don't know how he would determine that.
How would he know? Yeah.
But he just wanted to be nosy. He was a nosy bitch, and he went up to her fucking shores and was like, oh, this is really bad. He's like, oh, no, this is not going to stop. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And he subsequently rang the alarm and was like, do not go on this island. Do not go near it. He was like Pierce Brosnan in Dante's Peak, trying to warn everybody that shit was about to pop off. So he's like, nobody go near that place. It's toxic. And I think something much worse is going to happen, probably, most likely, or at the very least, it's going to keep spewing ash and lava.
Yeah. Something's not right. Just don't go. Like, all the vegetation's dead. I feel like that's
Shit's
enough
fucked
for
up.
me to be like, oh, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Something's weird.
Yeah. So, yeah, he was like, I'm not going back there again.
Yeah.
And good thing he got the fuck out of there, because by August 25th, the Krakatoa eruptions intensified.
Oh, my God.
At about 1 p.m. on August 26th, the volcano went into its paroxysmal stage. Paroxysmal, yeah, phase, and that means she's about to go. She's about to blow, like worse than she ever has before.
Yeah.
So by 2 p.m., a black cloud of ash could be seen at 27 kilometers high. That's very high.
Yeah. I wouldn't know.
And then at this point, the eruption was almost continuous. And the explosions could be heard every 10 minutes or so. And if it's anything like what I saw of the Las Palmas eruption that's happening in the Canary Islands right now, if it's even a fraction of like that, it's terrifying. There's a video I saw where there's a shock wave, like, because it's so loud, you could see it. You could see the visual sound wave traveling through the like ash. It looks like a bomb going off,
Oh my God.
So that was just happening constantly, like every 10 minutes.
Oh my
Something
God.
loud, and there's just rocks and fucking smoke pouring out of a volcano at this point. Nonstop.
We should look up the new volcano that's erupting and see what it is on the it's like the volcanic whatever chart. I forget. I have it written down. But because Krakatoa is a 6 out of 7. Like, that's how big this was.
Yeah.
So we could compare it, technically, to if we know the score of the other one. Anyway.
Yeah, but who's to say? Because
who's to say?
It's not done erupting.
It's not
I don't
done.
think
It's mid erupt.
very
bad.
scary.
Yeah,
very scary. And nobody knows for sure, when a volcano is kind of gonna lay dormant and when it's gonna come back alive. Like, it's really scary.
This is what's scary. Like, this is where we just have so much hubris as humans, and where we don't know nearly as much as we think we know about the ocean, earthquakes, volcanoes, fucking hurricanes, whatever. It's like there's still a lot we don't know. And I feel like, yeah, we might never know, but you just, they know what stages, like a volcano's in and stuff, but you can't predict. Just like with earthquakes, it's like, okay, well, like this earthquake came, we know there's going to be aftershocks, but sometimes there's a real fucking big, huge one. And it's worse than the first one. So,
well, the scary thing about volcanoes and earthquakes is that we have no ability to prepare for them, really.
Yeah.
Unlike a hurricane or a forest fire or a tornado. Like,
there's
those kind of those like we can recognize there's like a system, there's a season for it, and we do have a little bit of warning. Also, we can prevent them to some degree. Well, we can prevent forest fires to some degree, but we can't prevent them. Only you can. But you know what I mean? Like, we can prepare for them a little bit more.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, like hubris, like people build homes like my family in Costa Rica right next to volcanoes. And so, like, I don't know.
Yeah. Although I guess, like, if you're going to die from some sort of natural event like this, a volcano is maybe the way to go.
God, I don't think so. It seems very scary.
It seems scary, but it would be very quick. Like, once the hot magma hits you.
I guess, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
And the only way is if it's like Pompeii and it's like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But you would see it sort of like happening before, and then it would be like, oh shit, we should maybe like be concerned about this, and then like you would be scared ahead of time. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Like you'd see the ash and the rocks and stuff. It's just so weird because like Mount Vesuvius exploded and the people of Pompeii like were just like still doing regular tasks.
Well, they didn't know it was far away. They didn't know it could reach them the way it did.
Oh.
And I'll tell you more about that in a second.
Oh, wonderful.
So, this Krakatoa though, it was going, and ships that were traveling through the area within 12 miles of the volcano reported heavy ash falling and 4-inch pieces of hot pumice stone falling onto their decks.
Oh, God.
So there's a timeline recording kind of for all this stuff because people on the ships had to like log all of the anything that happened. And then between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m., a small tsunami hit the shores of Java and Sumatra, which were about 25 miles away. And then, so that was like the first kind of stage. Yeah. That was day one of Krakatoa.
Of the event.
Yeah.
Of her coming out party.
Yeah. I was gonna try to make a joke about Coachella, but I can't do it.
Day one, weekend one.
And then the 27th.
Cash is on the main stage.
Yeah.
This thing's about to blow. Isn't that a song? Is it?
It's going down. I'm yelling timber. Yeah. Yep.
That's a different song. But
yeah.
Love it. She has all the hits for this because she was there, allegedly.
But then on August 27th, 4 enormous explosions occurred, which marked the climax of the eruption. This is Beyonce on the main stage.
I'm erupting.
God, I hate it. At 5:30 a.m., the first explosion was at Purbawatan, triggering a tsunami that headed to Teluk Betong, which is now known as Bandar Lampung, and that tsunami was pretty bad. Then 6:44 a.m., Krakatoa exploded again at Dannon. I think that's another one of the peaks.
Mm-hmm.
And the resulting tsunami went eastward and westward.
Oh, God.
So I don't think that because it's more like northeast and southwest is where like Java and
right, like the channel went east and west.
Yeah. But still fucked shit up.
Yeah.
And then the third and largest explosion at 10:02 a.m. was so violent that it was heard at 1,930 miles away in Perth, Western Australia, which I had mentioned before. Mm-hmm. And then it was heard 3,000 miles away in Rodriguez near Mauritius.
Oh my God.
Which I read it again and I still can't imagine.
Yeah.
The blast was thought to have been cannon fire from a nearby ship. People who heard that noise 3,000 miles away thought it was cannon fire.
Oh my God.
The third explosion, like we mentioned before, was reported to be the loudest sound heard in historic times. So the loudness of the blast heard was that like 100 miles away from the volcano has been calculated to have been 180 decibels.
Okay.
And just FYI, 150 decibels is considered enough to burst your eardrums. So if you were 100 miles away from this, your eardrums would have burst. Like people on ships that were in the water that were this close.
Oh my God.
Had burst eardrums.
Oh my God. Or like on the island of Java.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. Everyone just had like really bad ear problems.
Yeah. But they probably, if they were anywhere near the vicinity, they would have probably been killed by the tsunami anyway.
If they were that close,
so,
yeah. Well, yeah.
But then the threshold for death from sound is usually pegged around 185 to 200 decibels. So,
oh my God. Where it'll kill you? The sound will kill you? Mm-hmm. Oh my God. What is 100? We don't know of anything that's 185 decibels.
So 150 decibels is like if you stand really close to a jet aircraft during takeoff.
Okay.
Or if you're near an explosive blast of any kind.
Yeah.
That's like the intensity of what the decibels are. And you know, like even if you hear like a loud, like, you know, explosion, your ears will ring.
Yeah.
That's just the sound wave is so intense and so powerful that it can burst your eardrum at 150 decibels. So even God. like a space shuttle taking off is like not 180 decibels.
Oh my God. What if we found out like in a year from now that like Ariana Grande
oh my God, what are you gonna say?
was a serial killer because her whistle note could hit 190 decibels. Like if she whistle noted too hard, like next to you, you just die. And that's how she...
It's a toot and boot. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's the perfect murder.
It's the perfect murder. Yeah. It's like, I've been to like, my dad would take us to the gun range when we were kids. And we had to wear protective earwear and stuff. And it was still loud. Yeah. Like I still remember it being loud. And I've been to like, yeah, you've been to like airports where you're like close to the airport. You're not like at the airport, but you're outside close to an airport and you could hear, you know, big jets taking off. And it is very loud and you're not even right next to it.
I think the jet that I'm thinking of is like a fighter jet. Like that kind of jet.
Oh, that
engine.
Makes sense. Not like a 757.
Yeah. Which is still extremely loud.
That's
extremely loud. Yeah. But I'm thinking jet, like fighter jet.
Oh.
So yeah, this is crazy. How loud this is. I can't even imagine.
It was so loud. We'll talk. You already kind of like talked about some of the the beginnings of the tsunami and stuff, but let's also talk about just generally what happened as a result of this. So obviously a huge volcanic eruption like this is going to have some side effects. There should be a warning label on it. Like you should not, do not come near here if you're pregnant. Like if you've been drinking alcohol, blah, blah. So obviously like ash, chunks of rock, magma. We already kind of talked about the pumice stone and stuff coming down. This shit was hurled though as far as 11 cubic miles, and ash fell as far away as 3,775 miles, landing on ships in the area.
Yeah.
Which is insane. In the more immediate vicinity of the eruption, the amount of debris was so dense in a 275-mile radius that it blocked out the sun for 3 days, which you said kind of at the top of this. And if you have been in a fire, like a wildfire zone before, I mean, it could be longer than 3 days if it's a wildfire, because those tend to take a while to get put out. But like where we grew up, there were fires, and it really does block out the sun. Like there's so much debris in the air that the sun, it's still light out kind of, but it's like reddish. But for this, it was like
pitch
dark.
black. I think of a scene from like the Book of Revelations, it's just like the sun is blotted out. Biblical shit.
It's fucking insane, especially if you're right there experiencing it. It's so fucking scary. Okay, so volcanic rock fragments, which are called tephra, and hot volcanic gases, basically from this eruption killed the entire population of the island of Sebesi, which was a smaller island in that channel where 3,000 people died. There was no survivors.
So let me just really quickly get into the detail of how this happened. This was caused by a pyroclastic flow.
Oh.
And basically it's not just like breathing in the air. It's like literally an avalanche of the volcanic rock fragments and the volcanic gases traveling over the water so fast, like 200 miles an hour almost.
It just wipes you out.
And just wipes you out, just like it did in Pompeii. It didn't go over land. It went over water. And since there was no resistance because the gas like traveled over the top of the water, there was no like land mass for it to like run into. It just it's
not like hilly.
It just like glided on the top. It was like a maglev train going as fast as possible across the water to hit these people in Sumatra and Sebesi.
Yeah.
And that, to me, when I read that, or I think I watched something about them explaining it, and I was like, that's the most terrifying thing.
That's terrifying.
I can imagine. Like you just have no warning, and
it's coming sideways.
And you think you're safe because you're across the water.
Right.
Or, you think, okay, well, there's a tsunami that's probably going to come. Let's just get to higher ground. It didn't matter. You were fucked.
Yeah. Well, it didn't. These people, I think, were on the coast, like kind of like on that side of the island. So, because 1,000 people died from this occurrence in Sumatra, but there's more than 1,000 people in Sumatra. Yeah. And actually, this is all very tragic and super fucked up and scary, but the least deadly part was this part. Like the least deadly part was the tephra and the ash and like everything that was happening as a result of the like physical eruption. Where the devastation comes is the tsunamis that were triggered as a result of this volcano, which essentially when it was done erupting collapsed in on itself. Yeah. And that's kind of what caused huge waves of water, like walls of water that were 120 feet tall just came and completely overwhelmed all of these islands. Tens of thousands of people died, like you said at the beginning of this episode. 156 coastal villages were destroyed in Java and Sumatra, and that whole island, Sebesi, was completely
wiped out. Yeah.
There was a steamship called the Berau, and it was nearly a mile inland on Sumatra. So it was nearby. All 28 crew members were killed. But another ship, the Ludon, which was anchored near to the Barao, the ship's captain succeeded in the, as the tsunami was hitting, and they were able to turn the ship so that the bow was facing the wave, and somehow they were able to fucking ride it. They surfed this wave.
Oh my God.
And they looked,
and they were able to like go up over the crest of it.
They went up over the crest of it. They basically just like went whoop over the wave. Jesus and Christ. They looked back and they saw that the town where they had been anchored, nothing remained. It was just fucking flattened and completely taken out.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so that was like, the most, and people on Java and on Sumatra like went for high ground, and some people made it, some people didn't, obviously. So there were survivors. But the effects of this eruption and of the tsunami were very far reaching, as we've already talked about, like with the sound and stuff, and lasted for months, if not years. Like for the next few months, bodies were just kind of like floating around in this area. And then God. As far as like the Indian Ocean and the east coast of Africa, groups of human skeletons on volcanic pumice stone were washing up, like chunks, like this pumice stone had just like caught these people probably on land, and then the tsunami just like broke the rock off, and like it's so wild to me.
There's an island that's close to Krakatoa that had a like lighthouse on it, and it was completely destroyed, obviously, in the tsunami. But also on that same shore next to where the lighthouse had been, a huge, massive, like bigger than a car size chunk of coral had been ripped from the ocean floor and flung onto the shore, and it's still there to this day.
There's pictures. It's crazy. Fucking insane. It's the damage.
It's like the size of like a school bus or something like huge. That. It's crazy. Yeah,
it's huge. And then even during that time, during the time, in the days of like the tsunami, like immediately following the eruption, there were even larger than normal wave. There was larger than normal wave activity recorded in the English Channel. So we talked about like how sound traveled. Well, fucking the wave activity from this shit traveled the world. It's so wild.
It disrupted like currents. It disrupted like it fucking was so intense and powerful that it just had that kind of an effect just in the ocean itself. Like
so the repercussions were wild. And also this everything is just like underlying how big and like what an effect this natural disaster had on the globe. Temperatures on average were 1.2 degrees cooler for the next 5 years.
Oh my God.
Southern California saw record rainfall the year following Krakatoa. So, and this is all related. Like if you look at weather patterns and shit, like you know that this is what is happening. Ash circulated the globe, darkening the sky, not blocking the sun out, but just kind of like slightly darkening the sky for literal years following this event. And because of the amount of sediment in the atmosphere, the sunsets were like splendid. They were
insane. Yeah.
Insane. Red and just like orange and red. And people hadn't seen sunsets like this before. Yeah. We get to see them in California, probably because of the pollution mostly. But we have beautiful sunsets here. But also, so does Hawaii. So it's like, I don't know what that is. But everybody around the world where they don't normally have sunsets that vibrant, we're getting these like very red, very beautiful sunsets. And this was like in Western Europe and in North America. And they were so beautiful. People started like creating artwork that reflected them. And art historians even have posited that Edvard Munch's The Scream is based on
like the sky in that painting is bright red and orange.
Yes. And the
and
sunset.
it looks fake. It's like, why is it that color?
Yes.
It's
but
not. It's because
it's from this.
It's probably because the sky was actually that color.
Yes, because he did this within a decade following Krakatoa. So you can be sure, living in Europe, that he was seeing sunsets like this. And that's a result of Krakatoa, which is so cool. And
that's such a cool factoid. Ugh.
Yeah, fun fact. Also, yeah, we've said it a couple times, but like Krakatoa after this event just completely like fucking collapsed in on itself to basically like two of the peaks, like the volcanic peaks, were completely gone underwater, like totally caved in. And then there was still one little kind of peak,
like nubbin left of the island.
Yeah, like a little tip, just the tip. And it was just like this, shriveled little thing. But listen, she partied hard. Mm-hmm. She went out. She did all the things she wanted to do. The night beat her down, but it did not take her spirit. Because in 1927, okay, this is like getting back to current times. In 1927,
we're coming back. We're getting into the 20th century now.
We're circling back. The tsunami finally settled down. The waves ended. The sunsets ended. Kind of life back to normal. And then in 1927, Javanese fishermen found a column of steam coming up out of the water. And there's like some chunks coming out. There's like some pieces of rock. And they're like, what the fuck is this? And then within weeks, the rim of a new cone appeared above sea level. The
bitch is back.
The bitch is back. Yeah, the bitch is back. And this is what the Elton John song is about, if you didn't know that. And no, that's not real. So within weeks, the rim of a new cone appeared above sea. It's like, did you get work done? Oh, she's back. She's had a little work done.
You look so fresh.
Yeah, you look very refreshed. Ooh, I like your new cone. And
so perky.
So oh my god, that cone is so perky and young looking. And I just feel like it was the cone you always needed. Like you were fine before, but like this cone really, it looks great.
Yeah.
And within a year, this cone grew into like a full fucking small island, and it was named Anak Krakatoa, which translates to the child of Krakatoa. And this little fucking hellion, look, she went and she had some offspring. And he was like cute at first and like mild and only periodically like doing its thing, But then until it wasn't. Because in December of 2018, specifically December 31st, a large underwater collapse again of the volcano caused a deadly tsunami.
Happy New Year, bitch.
Oh my God.
It's fucked up.
So fucked up. It is just, and 2018, I don't think was that bad of a year, but I don't remember anything before 2020.
Everything was downhill after 2016.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Well, here specifically, but it had global repercussions. Maybe is Trump the child of Krakatoa? Maybe.
Yep.
I wasn't there.
Butterfly effect.
Yeah. But it is very sad. It was deadly. 437 people died. Over 14,000 people were injured as a result of the tsunamis that were a result of the the underwater collapse of the volcano. And yeah, she wasn't even done there because, of course, April 2020 comes around and she's like, you know what? Why don't we just slap a little volcanic eruption onto the start of a pandemic, baby?
It's the end times, hoes.
And it's like, at this point, just take us out. Just take us out.
Don't beat around the bush anymore.
Yeah.
Don't
we're
tease
done. Me. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's
I think
so
that's
crazy.
Krakatoa.
Oh,
did we miss anything?
One thing I missed. Just some more numbers real quick.
Oh.
The energy released from the explosion.
Yeah.
The big explosion has been estimated to be equal to about 200 megatons of TNT. 840 petajoules, which I don't know what that is, but it's energy.
That's a
measurement of energy.
Oh yeah, joules.
Yeah, joules.
Yeah.
which is roughly 4 times as powerful as the Tsar Bomba, the most powerful thermonuclear weapon ever detonated.
Oh my God.
So that's insane. Just to give you a full picture. That was a number I forgot to put in the notes earlier.
Oh
but yeah.
my God. It's so, yeah, it's truly, it's just so fucked up too, like that I didn't even know this was like a real thing. And then it's like one of the most tragic like volcanic events.
There's only one other volcanic eruption that's worse than this. And I feel like maybe we should do a bonus episode on that because
Yellowstone, right?
No, that hasn't erupted in human recorded history yet.
Not human recorded history, but when it did erupt.
It's if and when it erupts during our lifetime, that will be the one that takes us all out.
Yeah, well, that will kill us at least.
Yeah. We're done. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. There was it was, I think, I can't remember what the name of the volcano was, but it killed like 70,000 people. So
oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, what did it start with a T? Maybe that's our bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild.
It's just terrifying.
Yeah.
Fucking Earth. I've always said this. I'll say it again.
Mm-hmm.
Mother Nature doesn't give a fuck about us. We, like we were saying, we think we control a lot of stuff and think we can, kind of keep things at bay. Anytime she chooses to shake us off, she will.
Yeah. When she's done, she's done.
When she's done with us, she'll be like, no, I think a mass extinction is in order.
Yeah, she's not going to let us destroy her to the point where she's no longer capable of surviving. Like, we will get to the point where we've triggered enough things that just kill us off and she gets to survive and rebuild.
Or just have a volcano, which we don't even contribute to that as a,
as global warming?
Is
that true?
Yeah.
Does global warming cause shifts in like tectonic plates and shit?
I don't think so.
Okay, I don't know.
That's all coming from the center of the earth, babe. That's like fucking
true that. Shit. This is all coming. This is on its own timeline and schedule. It's like a train. It's just like on its own schedule and it's going to come when it's going to come. Like
when the Ring of Fire decides to really be a ring of fire.
Yeah.
Well, then we're done.
There's this thing. I had it in the notes, but then I think I was like, I changed my mind and I wrote something else. But there is something called a volcanic explosivity index. It's a VEI. That's what we were talking about earlier, where this was a 6 on the scale of 7.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Is someone crying?
Do you hear that?
Is that Damien?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's downstairs. Yeah.
He is not happy.
Yeah, I think I gotta get him.
Yeah, gotta get him. Gotta feed him. Well, if that's not a good reason to end this, I don't know what is.
My little volcano is erupting downstairs, and I must attend to him. No, I don't know. That was weird.
Oh, there's was it Tambora?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's like a 6 or that's like between a 6 and a 7 on the VEI, and and Krakatoa is a 6. So
crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well,
all right, dudes.
Make sure you download the whohaha app and listen to the podcast on there if you would like to do so. It's very cool.
Yeah, check us out on all social media at DTFU Podcast everywhere.
Oh my gosh, if you're listening to this and it's still October 2021, I'm streaming every Friday on Twitch, aka Mackie. It's just twitch.tv/aka Mackie, 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Ooh. Fun things this week. You will have missed it. I'll just say what I'm doing the week that you won't miss, which is I'm carving pumpkin live on stream with my friend Victorious, who's also a Twitch streamer. He lives in Boston. He's very funny and he's great. He's very entertaining. So we're going to carve pumpkins and talk about cryptids.
Fun.
Yeah.
Love that. Friday at 6 p.m.
Yep.
Pacific time, right?
Yep. Pacific time. Yeah.
Excellent.
All right,
guys. Thanks for listening. Be excellent to yourselves
and each other.
Bye-bye.
Bye.